Hey, everybody. I really hope that you get a chance to see me and hear me well. This is Mr. Walter with Around the World with Mr. Walter. And in the back, we are going to explore today how wind becomes electricity. So, a great show to kind of join in this Friday afternoon. And I really hope that you get a chance to be with me and be here. So, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here, and great to see everybody that's coming in. So thank you for being part of the New Minds group. Everybody is very excited to keep being here and doing these shows, from New Minds Enrichment every day. So thank you so much. So we are just about to start, and I'm just going to set up a little bit on the videos, make sure that everything's working just fine, and getting. So if you get a chance to see Mr. Adams' video just recently, Into the Dungeonverse, the 10th episode already of Into the Dungeonverse. So thank you so much for kind of joining us and being with us, as well as being all around here in New Minds. So let me just get everything set up. We will be covering today how wind becomes electricity. So we're going to be visiting some of the offshore, wind farms and take a tour through the past, the present, and the future of energy. Along their way, we'll journey to the North Sea. We'll go to the Antarctic, and we'll find why do we need clean, renewable power that more than ever before. So if you're there, that's great and excellent, wonderful. So let me just kind of chime in here on the chat. If you are, please kind of log in and just review and make sure that everything's in. Come and say hi here at at the chat, and just kind of make sure that we're all together. I will be answering some of the questions that you guys have on the chat. So it'd be great if you can just kind of send them along, and what we do. And what's really interesting is that I am actually watching myself on the other side, and just kind of being just kind of looking to see all that broadcasting it's done correctly. So thank you for joining in, Nikki. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for being here, and you can also ask some of the questions, as well as the rest of the groups as we come in. So great. So let me see if everything's working well. If you get a chance to see, let's see if I get full screen. And wow, yeah. So we will be. I'm going to try to move out a little bit to the right, so everybody can actually see, and just minimize the screen. So thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody. All right, great. Thank you, Adam. You can hear me, and I'm glad that we are all kind of moving forward. So today's episode is going to be on how wind becomes electricity, and I really hope that you enjoy it. So, without any further ado, we're going to move right and start exploring. So, I'm going to take the camera off so you can take a quick look, but you'll be able to see me and hear me just not as the video goes, but you'll be able to see some of the great places. So, now we're taking a quick look the offshore farm in winds. And as we move forward, we'll be able to actually do some of these great activities and explore. So let's explore a little bit, right? So a great questions that we always have is what is a wind farm? We talk about, some farming, and here in Texas, we have all sorts of places, but what is a wind farm? So, and we'll take a quick look here at the North Sea, and we're going to be looking at some of the farms that are going. So actually, if a wind farm is a place where we can harness the vast forces of wind, and we're able to actually turn some of these propellers, and from those propellers we'll be able to actually gain a lot of energy. So you can see here, some of the wind farms already, and you see this is one of the largest wind farms in Europe with 80 in 80 wind turbines covering more than 33 square kilometers. So, an incredible place of that we can see all the wind farms, and you see how it is placed right on top of the sea, and that way the sea kind of acts like a shield and just kind of makes the wind just go right through. And as that happens, it starts turning all the turbines. And later, we're going to be using, some tape. We're going to be using, again, our trusty scissors. So be careful with these. We're going to be using some of the cardboards that we have that we'll be using. And this time, we're going to be using just a straw. And we're going to make our own little small wind turbine. So hope that you stay with us and make sure that we see as we move forward on everything. So, hey, my son Walter has joined. Thank you for coming in, and you can ask some of the questions also of the wind turbine, or actually you can actually come in here, and Nicole can actually come in here, because I know that you guys are right in the living room. So come in and say hi to everybody here in New Minds and New Minds Enrichment. So as we move forward, we'll actually get out of this picture and we see that wind farm out to sea. Why is it out to sea and why is it land? Well, first is the consistency, like we're talking about the wind. So the wind means that that the 80 turbines in the wind farm can produce energy all day, every day. So imagine that every day and all day producing a lot of it. So let's pan out and we'll pan in, and actually we'll get a chance to see how big these things are, which are just amazing. So let's kind of move along and go to the next slide. So you can see that wind turbines are just incredibly big structures. They're just huge structures. We're going to take a picture from it. So actually, let me start right at the bottom. Here we go. Some of the engineers that are. So let's see if these are 6 feet tall, and you can see how way up all the wind turbines are set. So at 150 meters tall. And those in front of us are taller than the structure taller of the Statue of Liberty. They're taller than a 747 jumbo jet span. So these are huge. So let me show you just a quick little picture of how big these things are. So here's a house. Here's the Statue of Liberty, and here is the wind turbine. So as you can see, just one of the propellers is about as high as the Statue of Liberty. So, and you might think, hey, maybe this is new. This is actually something new. No, it's actually not new. You see that the wind, and using wind as a prop, as a way of helping out humanity has been around for 2,000 years. So it was in Greece. and that started using wind, and it was used to produce music. So, to power a really big pipe organ. So incredible how that, and it started a lot and a lot further, a lot with that. So as you can see, it's definitely a, something that we can use and have been using for a number of years, right? So we'll see also a couple of other pictures, and you'll see how this is the traditional windmill that we know. Then there was a few other modern windmills, and the reason why they had that structure to the side is that it will tilt the wind, it will tilt the full structure towards where the wind was coming from. So not only will it tilt it, but then it will have it. But now, as you can see, not only do we have the option to do that, but actually the propellers gives a lot more efficiency in terms of how the wind is actually taken. So, an amazing feat of engineering. So we had traditional windmills before. We had wooden and cloth blades that turn the wind. We have a modern wild turbines, the same principle. But then, we started designing and using some of these propellers to do that. So Nicole had just came in and just kind of say hi. So this is my daughter Nicole that's here from college. So she's an art major in UT Austin. And what do you think, Nicole? What do you think of the wind turbines and what we're talking about today?
I think it's so important. This is really the future of energy. And if we can get word out and get the youth invested in this, I think it would be amazing.
I know. It's renewable energy. It's we have it all around. It's produces 24/7, and we have not only the technology, but we have the infrastructure to be able to do it.
Right, and
Right?
it uses unlimited
It
resources.
use unlimited resources, so we have all this available to do. All right. Thank you,
Thank
Nikki.
you. I
All
hope you guys
right.
are enjoying Around the World with Mr. Walter.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Nikki. So, all right. So let's kind of move and keep exploring a few other of the areas. So as you can see, we'll take a quick look, and we'll just take a look around. As you can see, the wind farm across the way, all the different areas and in different places on a great expanse of how that is moving. So wonderful. All right, thank you. Wow. So Doug Thompson is online, and as I look at that wonderful wind energy, West Texas, also has a full wind turbines as well. Many people are confused about which way the turbine faces. So it actually it has a guided system. So not only will it be able to move from the east to west, but also it has that shift that can do from one section to another to actually capture as much wind as possible. All right, so let's kind of move out from where we are, and we are going to be looking at the top of the wind turbine. So we'll be looking right on the top, and we'll actually be moving, and I'm moving my camera around so you guys can see as much as I can. So this is way from the top of one of the wind turbines, and you can see all the way down how it actually goes. And so the wind turbines face to the right direction in order to use the wind efficiently, right? So on top of each one there is an instrument called an anemometer, and it measures the speed and direction of the wind and lets the turbine face the wind farm and pivot independently to its neighbor. So each one independently turns, and you can see the actual sensors that are here. So to harness as much energy as possible. So together, the 80 turbines around create enough clean energy every day to power more than 300,000 households. So incredible place. So if we can see, and we'll be able to take a quick video of how that works and how that it's amazing way of how that it's actually done. So as you can see, there's the turbines out on the water. You see how as the motor, it as the turbines start to churn, you see how it kind of brings down all the energy. The energy is captured, and after that, it just distributed directly into the homes, powering up all these different areas. So it's just an incredible way of how this marvel of technology kind of works through. Excellent. So, if you have any, have you actually seen? And I know that Doug has probably seen. Grateful for the earth. It has wind. So does Doug. Thank you so much. Nikki, renewable energy is important things for making a video. That's often and awesome structures. Yes, it is very important for us to see how these structures are made and just kind of wonder, right? If you see one, it's just understanding what it's actually doing. So the maintenance of these things is it's really hard work. The wind turbines' purpose is built, and they're every day they're working in getting these things moving. So being able, you get a chance to see right across how it's amazing how the size of just one of the workers compared to the motor that's actually being done, and the cleaning of the blades, the cleaning of the turbines are purpose built, so they're moving all the time. So to do this, they need a process called electromagnetic induction. So while it sounds technical, the process is kind of straightforward. Each turbine consists of very important parts, and they're rotating in a ring, and the ring of magnets, another ring of stationary copper plates. And as the wind rotates the turbine blade, the magnets are rotated around the copper plates, and this causes the electrons to flow from them and through them, which is creates electricity. So let me show you just how that is done on a quick little video. So you can see right here, you can see the electromagnetic process, and as the turbine turns, it turns these plates and generates electricity. So you can see how we opened up the turbine, and we get all these elements, and that it's how it starts to just generate energy, and from that energy then just gets distributed to the rest of the places. So an incredible work of engineering. So some people might say, hey, it was churning. No, it's actually churning copper plates and using this rotating magnets. So that is what causes the full thing. So let's move out from where we were, and let's kind of go all the way across to the Arctic Circle and take a quick look around, because here's other great element, great importance of why we need energy and why do we need clean energy. As even though we might kind of look around, the Earth it is having a dramatic shift in terms of climate, and that is why we need renewable energy such as the ones that we're seeing today. So Doug, I know that in the chat you're saying that you also seen that some of those seed have a underwater component that gathers energy from both currents and wave as well. Yes, they're actually they have not only the wind, as the wind turbine just kind of hits the blades and it starts churning, but also there is a way in which as the waves move, then plates move back and forth, and those elements that move back and forth are generating energy. So yes, even though some of the wind turbines are done on very stable and the wind moves through, some of the other ones actually have that and use the waters uneven and the waves to actually generate energy. So we are actually taking a quick look here at the why do we need some of the clean energy. Now, for centuries, we've been, burning fossil fuels like coal, gas, oil, and they release a lot of energy. But they also release a lot of air pollution, including carbon dioxide, which is, as we know, CO2. And it's always been part of our ecosystem. By higher concentrations, the atmosphere from burning fossil fuels is causing global temperatures to rise and increasing devastating consequences. So the it's melting the ice caps. Polar bears that are living in the Arctic are especially threatened. So the more that we can do to have renewable energy, the better. So let's take a look of here the Arctic Circle and some of the areas. As you can see, polar bears are contemplating the dwindling areas here on the Arctic island of Svalbard, and you also see how some of these areas that were fully covered with snow and ice are now a little bit bare because of the global warming. So that is why we need an alternative source of energy like the windmills that we actually see. So it is an incredible element, how to actually move forward and using. But what about the future, right? How does the future of energy look, right? So as we come in, the energy is also very important. Now, as we look our planet Earth from a distance, we can definitely start seeing that there are um, other options that we have that we can use to create energy, and the importance of keeping in our planet in good conditions. So into the future, we'll be using renewable energy, and we're going to be moving, and we'll look towards keeping many more ways to generate energy, just as wind, solar power, which is power from sunlight. Also, create clean and completely limitless ways of actually rising and falling tides, like we're talking about. Powerful currents and waves are actually can also be used for the all the generating energy, as well as geothermal power. So we did a small little experiment, and we went through a few days ago, and we saw the geysers and the hot magma that heats up the water. So geothermal power is another one of the powers that we can use to deeply lying steam and water reservoirs that come from the surface, and we harness that power as well to create energy. So the future of energy, many countries have pledged to use 100% renewable energy sources by the year 2050. So, we congratulate all those countries that are making a pledge towards renewable energy and keeping our planet. So as we look, we took a short kind of trip around, and now I'm just going to change a little bit and just do the great activity. So one of the things that I wanted to do today on Friday is have a little bit of fun creating our own wind turbine. Right. So creating the turbine, we only need some tape. We're going to need a straw or trusty scissors that we always use. So be careful with these. And we have markers and other coloring pencils. But one of the cool things about it is how do we start making our own turbine, and what does it look like? So we are going to make, as you can see, a turbine using something very interesting, which is just cardboard, tape, and having a little section here of straw. And the most important part on when we do this activity is making sure that the inside of the straw and the inside in the side of the turbine fit one within each other. So once we do that, we are able to actually have it rotate just like the motor that happens right there. So it's a pretty simple process. Just make sure that you cut the a section of the straw and perfect. So my son Walter is here. So he is here from the university. So come on in, and you have something to show us. So this is Walter. He had a lot more hair a few days ago. So what do you have to show us?
So over here I have a kinetic energy, which is the energy of movement, the same as the windmills. They will move and create energy. So this is an example of how it works. As the windmill rotates, it starts creating energy.
All right.
And that's the energy that will be then.
And this is really cool. I mean, you can see inside of it, and let me kind of put it up, and you can see that inside there's the motor, and you can see what are these? These are the oh wow, the two electrical current, and it has a little bulb at the end, and as you turn it, that's how it has all the gears and moving forward, and then creating energy. Oh, amazing. All right. I'm glad that you have this handy. Thank you, Walter. So yes. So there's a few forms of making energy. So we have solar, we have wind power, we have geothermal, and obviously kinetic energy, like Walter was just telling us. So fun little experiments that you can do. So what we are going to start making today is just getting it ready. We're getting a wind turbine, and we're using a little bit of just straw, and then once you cut the straw and cut a little section of it, then cut it in half, and once you cut it in half, you'll be able to have a smaller kind of section, since it will coil one right out of the other. So that way you'll be able to fit it right inside of the original straw, and it will turn very nicely. Cutting up the sides, and you can see that there were only they're triangular pieces. So they're triangular pieces that you fold, and then you tape to the little bit of straw. And once you have that, you can actually place it, and you have your own little windmill, and to be able to generate energy. So does it work? It works just fine. As you can see, it just kind of turns and moves. So you can actually bend the side of it, and you will have your own little windmill that has. Now you can color it and place it, but it's just a quick reminder of some of the activities that we can do right at home this Friday afternoon. And we're talking about energy, renovating energy, renewable energy, and how important it is. So let me just get right back to our world. And like you said, like we were talking a little bit about the future of energy and how that kind of comes through and using renewable energy. So let's go back down to the different areas that we were. So we were down in the places. So why do we need energy? How the wind turbines work? The future of energy. And we can see that right at the Northern Sea. So this is Spain right here. And here's a few sections very close to Germany and Italy. And here's right off the coast of England. And I think the North Sea way back here is how some of the ice caps are melting. So let's get back down on just so we can see the wind farm. And we'll see the wind farm. And as we fly in the North Sea, we'll take a quick look around again of these, amazing structures, 80 structures that we have in the North Sea that are, kind of generating and moving, right? So Doug, thank you for chiming in. So the wind, properly connected, it becomes the crank. The two forms of energy. One of the turns, one that turns the equipment, and the other that is created and stored. Yes. So there's we have the the first section, which is the blades, and the blades actually turn. Now you see right on the side that this structure is the one that senses where the wind is coming from, and it moves it from left to right, and they move independently to maximize. So maybe you can see way back there, see how that one's pointing to the other side. So they can work independently from each other as the wind gusts come from left and right to maximize the amount of wind that they're actually harnessing. And I think one of the things that most people don't know, and actually I'll get it right back of how it works, is the way that the turbine is made and how it kind of generates. And as you can see again, it's made in such a way that the coils wrap around, the coils turn within the motor, and just it start getting all they start generating electricity from it. So initially, we would think that it would start turning a motor, but this is actually, the way the energy is and the electricity is generated from the actual turning against the copper coils. So as the blades turn, and as the the full structure, this is how energy is then it's being collected, and then it's being distributed. So it's a really interesting process because it's not as we thought initially, but definitely one of the marvels of technology. So as we move further, and let's move right back into a world, we'll be able to look of where you. So we talked a little bit about energy. We talked about how it's created, the importance of energy generation, and we talked about how all these things come together. We also talked about kinetic energy, and kinetic energy, how that is from actual manpower, right? So how that turning, and that the motor is actually cranked, and once it's cranked, it just develops and generates that electricity. So definitely an incredible section of how that happens, as well as we move through the difference. Why do we need clean energy? So the takeaways from this session are, why do we need clean energy? Let's think about that. What are the difference? Clean, creating it. How do we create clean energy? And what are the responsibility to do that? The second is, what is the future? What does the future look like? So as we look at our world, what does the future look like for energy? And there are so many ways in which can harness that energy and move it forward. So thank you so much for joining me today. Coming up at 3, in like about another half hour, we'll have Mr. Dorian with the steam train, and we'll have also Mr. Ben with from the New Minds Vault, what doing different activities, as well as I hope that you were enjoying listening to Mr. Adam, who did a full story of Into the Dungeonverse, as well as the Parent Power Hour. And later today, we're going to have the closing comments of another week of New Minds TV, as we come to you live every day. Throughout the day to actually look forward. So as we kind of look in, we'll take another quick look at the different places where we've been today. We'll go all the way to the North Sea and take a quick look at the that we looked at, how the turbines work, and the wind farms right at the edge, and actually we'll go all the way down to the the full section right down. There we go. Yeah. So this is the top view of the turbines. And you see that right at the edge, you'll see the processing station. As the power regulators are actually there, and and so forth. So Doug, thank you. Definitely, we for all the elements and the engineering kind of talking. I am an industrial engineer, so all these things are very interesting to me, and I really hope that is interesting to you, and also to make sure that we kind of keep making all these crafts and showing the importance. So today we made a small little wind turbine, and as you can see with all the blades, how they work. And if you notice, I actually bent the blades a little bit, so they actually look like that. And we have done several projects over this week. So over this week, we went to the moon, and we did some of the rockets. We also explored the geysers at Yellowstone National Park and everything that happens there. We actually looked at the tallest buildings. We got a chance to see some of the tallest buildings, and we did that. So as we keep on adding, we'll be able to actually use and see all the different projects. And I hope that you're actually getting these projects, finishing them, getting a chance now that we have some time to color them and then place them in the mantle and or in your room, and think about all the places that we have been throughout the world. So let me just kind of move out from where we are from this sphere, and let me know what you guys would like to go next. Where are we going next? Are we going to? There's still a few places that we haven't that we haven't gone. So we haven't gone to Russia. We haven't gone to some of the other great places. We still have to go to India. We've gone to space, we've gone to the moon, but we still haven't gone to Mars. So we got to go to Mars at some point, as well as I'd love to go and explore the solar system. So definitely we can go to the sun, as well as exploring some of the rings in Saturn. There's another great moon, Europa, on the side of Saturn that it's currently steaming and throwing up steam into the atmosphere and into space. We got to go check that out. We have the Hubble Space Telescope, and we have so many wonders also here on Earth. So there's the deepness of the seas. There's different continents, energy, culture, music that we can check, and we'll be able to actually go through all those through the program of Mr. Walter Around the World. I really hope they have a great Saturday. Stay tuned for Mr. Dorian that is coming up with the steam train of some activities, as well as Mr. Ben for the New Minds Vault. I hope that you're following along the stories with Mr. Adam, as well as joining me every afternoon, just for 40 minutes or less than a little bit of an hour, to explore some of the places here in the world. So at the end of the session, we'll actually take additional comments. So Shay, thanks for joining. Ben, Doug, Mr. Adam, thank you for coming in, as well as everybody else watching. Thank you, Nikki, and thank you, Walter, for kind of being part of the program today. And we are actually going to move back out from where we are, and we are just going to move all the way out, and we'll be able to see again, our place in the universe, our world, and let's go right back down where we start and when we finish, which is our small little place here in North Dallas. So we are way back in Plano, Texas, and where we started originally, in New Minds offices here in Plano. So we went to the North Sea. We went to the went to the North Sea. We went to see the windmills. We saw the windmills, and we also saw the power generation, renewable energy. We went all the way to the Antarctic and actually saw some of the effects of what fossil fuels are doing to our planet and the reasons why we need renewable energy. And we actually see the future. And here in Dallas, just like Doug mentioned, we do have wind turbines and we have the wind farms as well. And we also have a great state. We have lots of sunshine and summers coming up. So renewable energy having from the sun. So it's a great future that we have in terms of what energy we can produce, how we use it wisely, and then how we move along over this next couple of years. So let's head down to our trusty basketball court and just take a quick look of where we are and where we start. We are right uh, there. So there you go. Our New Minds office is way outside. And I hope that you're staying safe. I hope that you're getting a little bit of exercise, and we'll be able to see, our offices and our front entrance where we make all the magic happen. So thank you so much for being here, and helping us just helping us and supporting us. Make sure that the New Minds channel is live. It's been 2 weeks. It's been an incredible experience. Remember that just use your passion to keep on growing. Keep your passion, and that is going to become a very fulfilling element that you can share with other people. So thank you so much for being here with us. We're going to pan out from the world. We're from our little place here in Dallas, Texas, and now we're going to take a quick look and a quick spin of the world as we just enjoy it again.